Hey everyone, welcome to the new episode of How We're Building Flamingo. On this episode, we'll talk about distribution, more particularly how we take the single source of truth that we built for everything that we have in terms of content and also other stuff, also events, like even physical events and case studies, customer interviews, everything, and how we distribute them in an efficient manner. Let's start with kind of review again the different ops systems that we have. So we have the company hub, marketing hub, product hub, revenue hub that is not out yet, and people hub. Today we're going to focus on marketing hub. So just to give you understanding, like we have a single database that holds everything when it comes to case studies, blog posts, etc. So for example, if we have something that sits in product hub and was done by our marketing manager, and that's a case study that was generated in the product hub using the same generators and AI video processors, etc., that we have across the entire system, then we want to go ahead and distribute it to all of our platforms. So we have OpenMSP Slack community, we have our website, we have our social media channels. We also sometimes cross-reference. For example, you build a case study or you have a good customer interview and you want to repurpose it as a blog post, or you want to repurpose a case study as a short video inside of LinkedIn or Instagram or Twitter or whatever. And that's the purpose of what I'm going to show today, which is called the campaign editor. So our campaign editor sits inside of our marketing hub. So this is how it looks like. You go here, campaigns, and now we will be able to see here a few of the campaigns that the team has created. For example, repurposing product release. So let's check out what this campaign does. So you see here that once you start a campaign, you have the content source, and the content source can either be something you generate on the fly. So it can be a new blog post, and then the campaign will create a blog post and all the follow-up materials, we'll show it in a second, all the follow-up materials, for example, LinkedIn, social media post, Twitter post, whatever, are going to be created based on that new blog post that this AI just created, or you can use an existing one. This was repurposing of a product release. So product release was selected here, and then the proper product release was selected here. It was version 0.19. And then you can add here optional descriptions. So if you create a fresh new campaign that doesn't have any seed, like the content pieces that I showed before, we call them seeds. If you don't have a seed, you can also give it free text with some goals, and then everything will get generated on its own. Or you can start with a seed, and then these goals are optional. But then you go ahead and you move on to the workflow stage. And in the workflow stage, the user can select here which social media accounts he wants to create, copy, images, whatever. So let's say that you chose Flamingo Twitter. You can choose here if you want an image or a video, and then the AI will also generate videos and image for that, and then you simply click run. What's interesting here with the social media stuff is that each social media page has its own configuration here. So for example, if it's a Slack account, you can either define new brand colors, or you're just going to choose one of the brand colors that already exist in the system. So let's say that we choose OpenFrame, then OpenFrame colors will be injected into all of the processes that you have. So for example, if you generate an image and our brand color for OpenFrame is yellow and for Flamingo is pink, then to each one of them, the accent color will be the proper ones. Here you can configure the client ID and the client secret. This is Slack. You can choose the target Slack channels. Obviously, the bot needs to be part of those channels, so it also validates if the bot is part of the channels or not. And here you can do like things like whether to include emojis or include call to actions, default hashtags, who is the target audience. So the prompts that are getting injected into the copy processors or to the image processor will receive that out of the box. And as you can see here, we have a lot of different channels. So we have blog posts, we have my account, my LinkedIn account, we have the Facebook account. We're using a product called Unipile and their API in order to publish specifically LinkedIn. For other channels, we build our own OAuth. So you can just click reconnect here, and then it will reconnect the page. Same for Twitter, etc. And then once you add it here, once you add it on the social media pages, it will be available on the workflow. And as you hit run again, actually, let's start a new one. So let's say that we want to add a new campaign, and let's call it demo. And let's say that we want to repurpose a case study, and here we can leave it empty. I want to create a blog post. I want to create Twitter post for myself, for OpenMSP, LinkedIn, and even to YouTube. And then we want for the blog, we want an image. And for my Twitter account, I want a video. And then I'm just going to hit generate. It will take some time. But what's cool about it is that obviously we have the artifacts that are getting generated as it goes by. But throughout those processes, we have multi-agent process. So the first stage is creating a strategy. So right now it's building the strategy. This is the prompt and this is the system prompt. So you will find, like in the user prompt and in the system prompt, you will find all the parameters that we talked about before. When you choose a seed, it's auto-injecting all the content from the seed. So for each seed, we have different ways to inject the seed content. And let's go, for example, case study with Mateas. If we'll go here, you will see how an output of a strategic looks like. So this is the prompt, and this is the system prompt, and this is what it generated. So what is the audience profile? What are the messaging pillars? What are the content teams? Channel strategy, key performance indicators, campaign timeline, feedback queues. We'll talk about this in a second. The AI also have a reviewer agent that after the campaign is running, it runs a reviewer agent at the end and then gives himself comments. And if you run another iteration of the campaign, it will auto inject them. This is basically the reviewer feedback points that he took in account on this run. So the strategist also creates he basically creates the strategy for the entire campaign. And then there is another process where a copy prompts are getting created. So you see here that this is AI selected. So we have another agent that receives the strategist prompt and output. And then he takes this prompt and runs another prompt. We call it pre-run, that basically says, hey, so I have this strategy of this campaign. I have 3 channels. Here we have 3 that need copy. Please create them and also choose which AI modules to use, build the prompt, define the tone and length, and then it's just running. And this is kind of how it looks like. The marketing person can edit it. And then once it's getting chosen, this is going to be, we will show it in a second, but this is going to be what's going to get published in diff for that side of things for Flamingo Instagram. So this is going to be the copy for that. There's also a way to manually edit it and then generate content. So you don't need to constantly run the entire process in order to generate something. And for each of those runs, at the end of the run, we have another reviewer agent that gives scoring. We'll show the scoring in a second, but also review points for each of those. And also the user can enter manual feedback points. And if you run another iteration of this campaign, all those feedback points will take in account both from an overall strategy perspective and for the entire campaign. And we can also add it here. So these feedback points are for the entire campaign, but also for each copy, image, video type that we have. The second point is copy. So we generate the copy. Then we have another 3-runner agent that is the designer. The designer is defining the mood according to the social media account that was created. So for example, here, video generating prompt, and there is no system prompt here for video, and the image generating prompt and the visual direction prompt. So they're all here. We also have designer conclusion, what the designer is looking to achieve. So he wants this style guidelines and this color palette and imagery guidelines, etc. We have listed a bunch of AI modules, both for videos and image generation. So the AI choose the best AI model to generate the image and also for the video. We'll show it in a second. Determines the prompt, the size, a bunch of other things, and then the user can generate an image. We'll show in a second the videos. For certain videos and for certain seed accounts, we have highlights videos. We talked about in the previous podcast episode. So once we create a case study, we have our own video processors that create highlights videos and video bytes. If we choose a seed video, we will have those original video, we will have the highlights video, and we will have the video bytes directly here. So we can also choose them rather than generating something. So for example, here you see the video bytes, but we can also generate. For example, here we chose, like in the new campaign, we chose to generate it from scratch. So you will see that the AI actually generated the video. And that works with webhooks because sometimes it takes a lot of time to generate videos and things like that. So here we have copy. We define 4 different channels. So it generated the copy for us. A lot of times, I like to run it in multiple iterations because you see that when it takes in account its own feedback points, the result is much, much better. So we will wait until it's going to have the feedback points here. But let's, for the sake of this demo, let's just choose. It's very long. Probably it's a blog post. Yeah, it's a blog post. So I can also review the blog post here. I can preview it. And I have here default image. But once we will select the image that was AI generated for this, You will see that it's changing. So I can choose this. Here is the Twitter. Let's choose this. Same here. Let's also choose this. And now if we'll go to images, you will see that this was generated by Flux2 Pro. So we sent a request to replicate return the image for us. For those social media accounts, we didn't ask the AI to generate an image, so he didn't do it. But you see that he did generate the prompt. He did select the model. So he did this work already. And here's the video. The video most of the time takes the most amount of time to generate. I don't know if I'm not sure that we chose to generate a video for this. So it's still generating. So until it's not going to finish generating the video, the AI video, we're not going to have the reviewers. That's why the reviewers are all empty here. If we'll go to replicate, you will see that it's pending. You see it's processing here on replicate. And those are pretty good models. Like Kling is a pretty good model. Sometimes it takes a lot of time. That's why we had to build it in a way that it's completely async. But let's go to review and publishing. You will see, okay, so this is the Flamingo blog. So you see that it's already updated my image because I selected an image here. Selected this AI image. If I'll click publish, we'll go ahead and publish it on our Flamingo blog. I could also do that for others. Michael Twitter. So that's my Twitter. There is a very cool option here to include the seed URL. So the fact here is that we selected a case study, right? And many times when you include the link to the original piece of content, it really degrades your performance of the post. Here you can define where you want the URL that leads to the case study to be embedded. So you can choose in post content, you can choose as reply. Many times I choose as reply. So what will happen is that if I post it on Twitter, the engine will wait until the post is actually published, and then it will publish the first comment right as it published with the reply. So let's do publish now. Okay, this got published. And if we'll click here, you see that this was generated here. And then we have a nice link here with the case study itself. And this functionality goes along everywhere. So it's the same on LinkedIn. You see that I can do this also here. It's the same on Facebook. It's the same on Instagram. Doesn't support links at all, but we can still do that. Same for Slack. I'll show you something that I did yesterday for Slack. So we changed our ticketing system yesterday. So I just created campaign from scratch. I added my own video. So this is a video I recorded, and then I published it. If I'll click here, I think it will open it. Yeah, I'll show you how it looks like on the community. By the way, our Slack is also supporting multi-channel now. So you can also do that there. Where's the Slack? Here it is. So you see, this is how it looks like. So this is the video that was published. This is all AI, and you see that it's with nice open frame bot. Also for product releases, I'll show you how it looks like. On the read more, so we have first reply, we have the embedded video right here, and then we have its first reply, the link back to our product release. Yeah, let's go back and see. It's always interesting to see what weird video the AI generated. So let's go back here and see, because it's fairly weird. Here it is. Here is the video. This was produced with Kling 2.5. And now you can also see that we have 3 AI generated review points. Balance dynamic, which is pretty cool. We're going to have it for every piece of content, plus for the whole campaign. And the next time, so if we're going to run it, here it actually created 15 generated reviews. See, this is here. And if we'll go to workflow, it will also give an overall score for each of those. So Flamingo blog got approved, 88 out of 100. And he said, telling us that it's all approved. Let's run it again. Now when it's going to get executed again, let's go to the strategy. And if we'll scroll again, yeah, you see that feedback used. This is all the feedback that was from the previous one. You see 15 feedback points. So we had 15 feedback points on the details page before. So it's also available here. I think that the nice part here, and what we're trying to show, is that once you have all of your content being structured in a unified manner, in a single source of truth and single source of logic, then it's very easy to build on top of it very efficient and scalable processes in order to scale your content. And I think that our content has been scaled significantly because of AI, also because of good people we have. But I think this is kind of allow us to build a very strong content machine that creates this very strong presence, both on social media, but also our SEO is become much better, etc. I think that's pretty much it from that perspective. Feel free to reach out to us. Feel free to subscribe to this podcast. And I hope it was beneficial and helpful for you. Bye.